Okay, Gita Gyan level 2, chapter 9. We are right at the center of the Bhagavad Gita. So it's a very, very important chapter, the most sacred chapter that Krishna slid in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, right in the middle. Okay. Right. So let's take darshan of some deities. Gauranitai from ISKCON Vrindavan, Sri Krishna Balaram, ISKCON Vrindavan, and the famous Radha Sham, Sri Radha Sham Sundar, ISKCON Vrindavan. So please join me to submit prayers to our spiritual teachers so we can understand the subject matter today. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
That's all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so as usual, we shall recap our chapter 8. What is the topic of chapter 8? Welcome, Param Prabhu. Okay, chapter 8.
Attaining the Supreme.
Yes, what's the topic about,
Hare
Mataji?
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, good to see you. Okay, so tell me, Mataji, what's the title? Attaining the Supreme. Okay, what is it about? Are we going to merge with the Lord or reach Him? What is this chapter about? Various factors determine soul destination. Yes. And then, yes, after leaving the body. So what is the gist of chapter 8? What is Krishna's trying to say? What's the ultimate point? Okay, Prabhu is correct. Various factors.
Destinations after death.
Okay. So that's the first. Time of death particularly. Okay, right? That's the detail. What is the main point of the chapter? What was ultimately Krishna is telling us, teaching us in chapter 8? Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Okay. Keep it very simple. It's a very simple thing.
Remembering Krishna at the time of death.
Yes. Remembering Krishna at the time of death will take us there. Take us there. Okay. Take us to him. Okay. Very simple. The philosophy is very simple. Okay. Right. So it started with Arjuna's questions and Krishna's answers. Arjuna asked so many questions. Krishna answered out of 8 questions that Arjuna asked. Krishna answered all 7 very briefly. But that one question, Krishna spent the entire chapter to explain. Okay, he asked how to attain you, how to remember you at the time of death. So Krishna took that to elaborated explanation. Okay. And then Krishna went to the specific details of how to remember him at the time of death. So he basically started off by saying, any thoughts that you have at the time of death is very important because that is where it's going to take us. And then he says, what is the best thing to think about at death is to think of him. Okay. And why is it easier compared to dhyana, jnana? Bhakti is easier. Okay, and you can do it without renouncing anything. As you go on your daily life, you can practice that. Okay, of course, Krishna compared between material planets and Krishna's spiritual abode, because we may come with, some people can ask questions, so why I should cultivate Krishna consciousness throughout my life? Why I have to think of Krishna at the time of death? Why do I need to go back to his planet? Because there is a difference between the material planets that we are staying in and Krishna's spiritual abode. So there, it is not lightened up by electricity or fire or anything. It's all naturally illuminating. Okay. So, and then it is also, people always want to be away from place of miseries and go to a place where there is permanent peace. So that is another factor that we can compare between material planets and Krishna's planet. So we know the importance of going to Krishna. Okay, so these are the differences. All right, of course, always Krishna ends the chapter by talking about the supremacy of bhakti in attaining Krishna. And performing all the other activities like tapasya, austerity, or sacrifices, or charity, and all these activities, pious activities, the benefits that you get out of those, it's still less than the benefit a bhakti yogi gets by executing devotional service. Okay, so that's the short recap. Let's move on because I think chapter 9 is a little long. Okay, so we try to finish on time. Understanding of Gita. So we can start by asking Saras Mataji to read introduction.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Out of these 5 basic subject matters in Bhagavad Gita, it is established that the Supreme Godhead or Krishna or Brahman or the Supreme Controller or Paramatma, you may use whatever name you like, is the greatest of all. The living beings are in quality like the Supreme Controller. For instance, the Lord has control over the universal affairs of material nature. Material nature is not independent. She is acting under the directions of the Supreme Lord. As Lord Krishna says, Maya Dhyanat Shena Prakritik Suyate Cha Sakara Karam. This material nature is working under my direction. When you see wonderful things happening in the cosmic nature, we should know that behind this cosmic manifestation, there's a controller. Nothing could be manifested without being controlled. It is childish not to consider the controller. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is about the difference between nature and jiva. Nature and jiva and prakriti. Okay, nature and the living entity. So jiva is superior to the matter, superior to the nature, but is inferior to, do you all remember in previous chapters, chapter 7, we learned this, superior energy, inferior energy, and marginal energy. Can we jog our memory a little bit? Where is jiva situated? Superior energy of Krishna or inferior energy of Krishna? Or in between? Come on. Come on. Superior means Krishna's eternal nature, Sachit Ananda. All right. Inferior means matter. They don't have consciousness. So where is Jiva? Does he have
Superior.
consciousness or he doesn't have consciousness? Yes, Prabhu?
Superior.
Superior. Okay. It is still very subjective. Superior to what? Equivalent to Krishna? Let's see.
Yes.
We are marginal. Okay. Okay. Why marginal, Mataji? Would you elaborate? Inferior to nature? Tada. Inferior to Krishna, right? Superior to nature, yes. We can control the nature, therefore we are superior. So Somasundara Prabhu is correct in that sense. We are superior to nature because we can lord over the nature. It's okay, Mataji. To an extent, we are superior. Why? Because we have the traits and qualities of who? Whose qualities we have? that we are able to control the nature to an extent.
Of Krishna?
Krishna.
Of Krishna, yes. But does it make us on the same platform as Krishna?
No.
No.
No. Therefore, we are inferior to him. Okay. So because we are inferior to Krishna and superior to the nature, we are called marginal. We are in between. Okay. So we are marginal. A little bit of that, a little bit of here. So we are called marginal. Okay. So it's always relative to, in the sense of subjective, related to Krishna and nature. Okay. Very good. Thanks for trying. All right. So with that, we are entering chapter 9. Okay, so this is, as I mentioned, this is right in the middle of the middle section, in the Bhakti section, and in between, right inside the Bhakti section is right in the middle. Okay, so we have passed 7, 8, 9, and then we have 10, 11, 12. 3 more chapters to complete the Bhakti Yoga section. So we are in 9. Okay, 10 is also another beautiful chapter, Opulence of the Absolute. All right, so generally, this is the breakdown. We have covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sloka and level 9. We are doing more. Some of it we are revising today. Okay, but I'll give you new points compared to level 1. Okay, those information from level 1, I will ask questions. So I hope you have done the recap. Okay, so this is the general, you will think, like, why there are so many confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, most confidential knowledge. So we will see why. Chapter 2 to 6, okay, generally Bhagavad Gita is confidential because not everybody are sitting here learning Bhagavad Gita. All right. So chapter 2 to chapter 6 is called confidential. It covers the knowledge of matter and spirit, Sankhya Yoga. Okay, this term we have been hearing in this class very often. So knowledge of matter and spirit. But the true knowledge doesn't end there. The knowledge doesn't end by us understanding that we are not body and we are spirit. So it is a good knowledge, all right? We definitely have this knowledge better than others, but it is not the end of knowledge. That is not complete. Then we take to chapter 7 to 8, where we learn more confidential knowledge. If you look at your Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7's title is More Confidential Knowledge. Yes or no? We all have Bhagavad Gita in your hand. Please have your Bhagavad Gita in your hand. Like textbook, you have to keep opening the book. Okay, knowledge of the absolute. So the title of chapter 7 is Knowledge of the Absolute, and this is called More Confidential Knowledge because it is beginning to touch more detail on devotional service. Okay, it begins with chapter 7. Chapter 7 gives a rough picture of what is devotional service. Okay, it starts saying Krishna owns everything, material and spiritual world, everything. Then chapter 8, it talks about what is the benefit, importance and benefit of knowing Krishna and knowing him and remembering him at the time of death. And then you go further to chapter 9, where the essence of the most important part of Bhakti Yoga is given. That is why it's called most confidential knowledge, because before this, you may have a lot of intention to acquire this knowledge. Maybe you just want it to be maybe just academia, maybe it's just for general knowledge. But as you go to chapter 9, you do not have any of these intentions to do devotional service anymore. It is purely bhakti. It is called pure unalloyed devotional service, or Kevala Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti. Pure. This is the pure Bhakti, the knowledge about pure Bhakti resides here. Okay. All right. So that is why it is called most confidential knowledge. Confidential knowledge, more confidential, most confidential. Okay. So basically chapter 7 is general information about Bhakti Yoga. And chapter 9 elaborates, just like how in chapter 3, we learned about Karma Yoga. Generally, in chapter 3, what Krishna was saying, do your duty, but with a detached consciousness. Okay, don't attach yourself to the result. But in chapter 4, after 3 is 4, right? Okay, transcendental knowledge. Krishna is talking about the glories of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna talks about how he is the origin of everything, how he is the ultimate enjoyer, and everything should be given to him. And then come chapter 5, where you put together the knowledge of chapter 3 and chapter 4, and you know where to surrender the result to. So like that, similarly, 3, 4, 5 is like one package, 7, 8, 9 is one package. Okay, So it's continuation. And chapter 9 talks about majestic aspect of Krishna and the excellence of pure devotees. So we will see information on this. Okay. Okay, this is a little bit of detail on what we actually covered. 2 to 6, knowledge. Knowledge which brings about enlightenment about Krishna consciousness, Supreme Lord and his energy. So all this we learned in chapter 8 and 7. Okay, all the inferior, superior, marginal, all that. And here most confidential, unallied devotion. So basically, this is like a tangent. Chapter 8 was like a tangent. You touch and go further. You're going. Chapter 7 is taking us on a spiritual devotional service platform. And then chapter 8, it gives you additional info before you take off on a 5th gear to chapter 9. Okay. This is the example, yeah. Karma Yoga in chapter 3, elaborated in chapter 5. Devotional service in chapter 7, elaborated in chapter 9. Okay, I hope that gives you a clear picture. Okay. All right. Okay, this one I think you all know already. Karma and Dhyana is here. First one, in the middle, we are at Bhakti Yoga and then Jnana Yoga. Okay, so Bhakti Yoga, the important chapter is 9 and 10. Okay, let's start reading text 1. Okay, who's next? Lakshmi Mata.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence."
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So there are 2 qualifications here. 2 points. Okay, 2 points, yeah. One is, one must be non-envious to hear Krishna properly, to hear properly. And as you hear, you advance. Okay, when we talk about advance, what does it mean by advancing? When you hear about Krishna, you're advancing. What does it mean? Can anybody share? What do you think advancing means? When a person hears about Krishna properly and then he engages in cultivating devotional service, he's advancing in his spiritual life. Or he's advancing in life. What does it mean? Get to know detail. Yes, okay. Prabhu?
Going closer to God.
Going closer to God, drawing attachment to Krishna. Okay.
More knowledge.
More knowledge. Oh, very good. We are heading towards that, the point. So by getting closer to Krishna, by cultivating devotional service, by getting more knowledge, what are we actually trying to achieve? What is actually... yes,
To
Prabhu.
relieve the miseries of the earth material.
Yes, very good. On point. We want to become free from material miseries. Okay, so I'm putting it all together now, yeah? You cultivate faith and devotional service by hearing more. And to hear, you have to be non-envious. So by hearing, you're advancing in spiritual life. What do we mean by advancing? One becomes free from material miseries. This is our ultimate goal. We are doing all of this sitting on Sunday night. Okay, I'm sure everybody has a lot of things going on, especially the Diwali is coming. But we still want to do something to nourish our soul. Okay, so this is the commitment, this is the sacrifice, this is also an austerity. Okay, what we are doing now is also austerity. Okay, so here talking about Arjuna. So Arjuna, obviously he's not envious. Okay, envy is the quality of people in material world. You have more money, people are becoming envious. You are more successful, people become more envious. You have better brain, better looks, okay, better material opulence, you can people can be envious about you. So similarly, people are also envious of Krishna. Why? Because he's the most good looking, he's the most popular, he's the most strong. This is why Sisupala didn't like Krishna, because he is favored by a lot of people, even though Sisupala is Krishna's cousin. So that is his argument. I'm also Krishna's cousin, but why I'm not favored by people? So this is enviousness. Everybody thinking about Krishna, including Sisupala. But the way the devotees think about Krishna, the way Sisupala think about Krishna or Kamsa think about Krishna is different. Okay, so Arjuna is not envious. Therefore, Krishna appreciates Arjuna and he gives the knowledge to Arjuna. So now Krishna is going to give Arjuna the most confidential knowledge by which, so this is the point here, by which you will be relieved from misery of material existence or material problem or material world. So actually the answer, the question that I asked earlier, the answer is right here. Okay, so this is the measurement of our success or advancement in spiritual life. So how much we have detached from material desires compared to earlier. Okay, definitely we are not totally renounced, but definitely there's a progress. Okay. Non-enviousness and faith are two qualifications to receive most confidential knowledge. Okay, all right. So another point here is that the people who wrote commentary on Bhagavad Gita is also to be assessed, assessed. Because sometimes they just take the verses of Krishna, but they use their own points to express the substance of the verse. And because sometimes they don't accept the supremacy of Krishna, they just give a very vague explanation. Sometimes we get more confused by reading their commentaries. All right, so it's not only necessary for a person to be highly scholars or excellent in academic achievement to give an interpretation or explanation of Bhagavad Gita. It has to be heard from a devotee. Okay, so otherwise it is, Prabhupada said, it is like milk touched by the tongue of a serpent. Milk is pure, but when it's touched by the tongue of a serpent, it changes the quality of the milk. It is not palatable anymore. Okay, so the bona fide commentary of Bhagavad Gita is only be able to be given by a devotee who worships Krishna in love and devotion. Okay, and who is surrendered to Krishna. Only then they can understand the depth of the philosophy that Krishna is teaching us. Okay, all right, so let's see the glories of chapter 9. Who's next? Param Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direction, perception of the self by realization. It is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and is joyfully performed.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So here is given further glorification of the most confidential knowledge. So there are 7 characteristics mentioned here. Raja Vidya. So let's go by one, yeah. I won't go so detailed, but I try to explain. Raja Vidya, king of education, king
Yes.
of all knowledge. Why do you think it is called king of education? When is education called a king? Okay, it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophies explained before, currently, and after. That is why it is called oh God, I forgot. It's called Trikala Jnana. Trikala Jnana. Trikala Jnana means knowledge of past, present, and future. So remember, I used to say this line before. Bhagavad Gita is glorified as in a book where you can find information from outside. Whatever information you need from outside is given in Bhagavad Gita. And in Bhagavad Gita, you also can find information that are not available outside. Therefore, it is also called, in this sense, also called king of all knowledge. So there are so many philosophers in the entire world, and Bhagavad Gita is something that almost everyone has commented on, spoken on, given class on, quoted by. Okay, so it is, therefore this is another reason why it's called king of education. Okay, next, Raja Guhyam. Raja Guhyam means the most secret of all secrets. Why? Because it gives the knowledge where you can't find elsewhere on soul. Okay, information about soul. It compiles everything from all the Vedic literatures. Okay, and then not everybody is accessible to Bhagavad Gita. Okay. All right. So what else? It talks about soul. It talks about in relativity to Krishna, the Supreme Lord, Supreme Soul and Spirit Soul. Okay. And what else? If you compare with the general knowledge in the material world, you learn everything, science, geography, maths, and everything, right? But they don't talk about this very confidential information about soul. So it is called the most secret of all secrets, most confidential knowledge. Purest knowledge, pavitram idam uttamam. Why? Because the information, it has the potency of purifying us by placing us or by taking us into the path of devotional service. So the other day I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture. He was saying, when you scrutinizingly study, or when you seriously study Bhagavad Gita, it's very purifying. That studying itself will make you advance. All right. And that's one. Number two, it also destroys the sinful reactions. Sinful reactions are categorized into four. There are four stages. One has been fructified already. That means today or tomorrow we're going to reap the benefit of sinful reactions. Another one is in the seed form, it's not grown. So like this, there are four stages. So reading Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly with total seriousness will destroy the sinful reaction in all four stages. I forgot about the four stages. Previously, I shared it. I will try to look for it and share again. Okay, so it destroys, it is so pure that it destroys sinful reactions. So that is pavitram idam uttamam. Now gives direct perception. So what is under direct perception? This one, yeah, pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam. So how we get direct perception of self? By practicing devotion service. So if you don't practice devotion service, if you don't throw yourself out there a little bit, put faith in Krishna, okay, and surrender and do devotion service, you will never feel the reciprocation that you get from Krishna. You don't feel the taste of that. Okay, it's like a trust game. You surrender yourself, you engage yourself in devotion service and see how he reciprocates. And this is why the devotees keep coming back to do service for Krishna, because it feels it feels so nice when Krishna reciprocates, to taste that, the reciprocation. Okay, so this is how they will advance. Okay, next, okay, it is the perfection of religion, dharmyam. Okay, perfection of religion, in another word, is highest goal of all religions. So devotional service take us there. Okay, it is so potent that without performing any other regular religious principles, if you just do devotional service that is outlined in the 9 steps, right? 9 devotional services, you can attain perfection. And how do you perform this devotional service? Not alone, with the association of devotees, by taking guidance from spiritual masters or previous acharyas. For example, Narada Muni or Guru or spiritual masters, or the books that have been written by gurus, previous acharya, and by taking guidance from Guru. And when they do this, they don't feel morose, they don't do it in grudging feeling or grumpy. It is joyfully performed. Nobody feels sad in kirtan. When you feel sad, when you come to kirtan, you will feel very light. Okay, it's like one of my yoga classes, the teacher has given a pose where the particular pose helps with anxiety and depression. All right, but she said, but don't do when you're feeling depressed, because I don't know what will happen. But she said, on a continuous basis, you can do this and you manage your depression. But when you are depressed, then don't do this. I think it's a hard one, so you can't do that. So in kirtan, it's different. You feel like too heavy. You just don't want to move. Your heart feels so heavy. Your mind feels so heavy. You just don't want to do anything. And then you stay away from kirtan. So that's not how it is. Kirtan is an immediate antidote where you feel anxious, depressed, or you feel sad and heavy. So you go into kirtan, you feel like you jump, you sing out, you feel light. So it is joyfully performed. And nobody talks about Krishna and Krishna's pastime sadly. Everybody takes delight in it. Okay, they take pleasure in it. So it is joyfully performed. Okay, before that, I miss everlasting. Of course, the benefit is everlasting. Like the verse Neha Bikrama Nasosti. Wherever you stop, when you come back in the next slide, you continue from there. You don't restart all over again from scratch. Okay, it's everlasting. The benefit is always continuing. Okay, so this is the glories of chapter 9. And what else? Okay, you can read the purport more. I'm sure there are more information there. Okay, what I'm giving is just very basic. All right, so who can do bhakti? Only human? Only learned people? Only rich people? Only children? How about animals? Okay, no. So you will see. Who do you think this is? It's showing fetus here. Who were praying to Krishna while they were in the fetus?
The baby.
Yeah. Who? This is actually referring to a story from the past, history. I think we can easily give 2 examples. Mother bearing the child. Okay, this is okay, whatever the example that I'm going to open up now, it's based on historical figures, historical personalities. Okay, so as such, can you recall anyone who prayed to Krishna when they were in the womb? Or Krishna showed some darshan to them? Remember what happened after the Mahabharata war? Somebody launched Brahmastra on someone in the womb, and Krishna,
Karnan.
no, Karnan died in the war. And this Ashwatthama, he wanted to wipe off the generation of the Pandavas. So what did he do? Some knowledge of Mahabharata. Anyone? Dasarathan Prabhu? I think if Vijay Prabhu is here, he would have quickly.
Kunti Devi?
No. Kunti Devi's children are all grown up.
Abhimanyu.
We are very close. It's Abhimanyu's kid, right? In
Oh,
the
the
womb.
son.
Yes, who is that? Yes, very nice, Lakshmi Mataji. Uttara, right? Her name? So who was in the womb?
Parikshit?
Yes, very good. Parishit Maharaj was in the womb. When the Brahmastra was launched on him, Lord Vishnu entered the womb and protected him by standing at the side of him. Okay, so he performed bhakti at that time because he got the vision of the Lord. All right, so another person, you can also say Prahlad Maharaj. While he was in the womb, he was hearing the he was getting the association of Narada Muni speaking about Krishna's topics related to Krishna. So 2 persons you can quote. Babies can perform devotional service in the womb. So we as parents, we have to provide that avenue for the kid. How do you do it? As for me, my experience, every night before we sleep, my Prabhu will read Krishna stories from Krishna book. Even though when I doze off, he will continue reading, and then we will see the baby moving and all. Okay, you can do that. And during the daytime, I attend classes in the temple. So I always ensure that I sit in the class. What else can you do? Of course, giving prasadam, and then when you chant also, the child can hear it. So we give that the impetus for the child to do the devotional service from the womb. Can do that. Okay, next. Can devotional service be done only by human? Whose story is this? We just covered it last week, right? So what animal are we talking about here, and what did this animal do?
Cow.
Bharat and deer, not cow, Prabhu.
It's
Last
the
week,
cow, yeah.
what story was it last week? Yeah, deer. Okay, because in a rare circumstance, a person can remember his past life. And the more rare circumstance is the deer can remember what was he in his previous life. Okay, so he stayed around the ashram of the Munis and took association of them and died. When he left the body, he died by thinking of Krishna because he was Bharat Maharaj in the previous life. Okay, So in the next life, if you remember, I said Bharat Maharaj, he got attached to the deer. He died thinking of the deer, resulting him being born as deer. And because he can remember what he was in the previous life and how he has actually wasted his life by thinking of deer by leaving the body, ended up he couldn't go back to spiritual world. He repented, and in his next life, he was born as a person called Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat portrayed himself as a foolish person. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't talk to anybody. He's led a very simple life. He didn't do anything. He just survived by begging food from others, like totally no ego, no self-prestige, even though he was a king previously. Okay, so he was basically spending his time absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. So much so that when the king came by, he started chastising Jada Bharat by the way that he was carrying the palanquin, because Jada Bharat was walking, try not to step on the ants on the floor, on the road. So the king got so angry. So who is this person lifting my palanquin, giving me such discomfort? He come and he chastised Jada Bharat so much. So Jada Bharat initially he acted foolish because he didn't want to take any name, fame, glory of the knowledge that he has. So there was a long conversation. Then slowly he will educate the king that what are we? We are just a humble servant. Why are we taking so much of prestige on this material designation of our body? So all these exchanges will go on. It's a very nice conversation in Bhagavatam. So even though he's a learned person, but for that pastime, he portrayed himself as a foolish person. So, baby in the womb can perform bhakti. Soul in the body of an animal can perform bhakti. Soul in the body of a foolish man also can perform bhakti. So, can you see everybody is walking nicely, stably, but he is the one only jumping here, jumping there, because he's trying to not to step on ants. Okay. Jada Bharat. Next is Ajamila. You can also perform bhakti at the time of death. It is never too late. Ajamila is also another case like Jada Bharat, but in a different way. Ajamila was attracted to material distractions and went into abominable activities. Jada Bharat was not like that. His attachment was just dear. Okay, so this is Ajamila, attracted to material life, and he went into doing abominable activities like stealing, gambling, and all that. And still he had a second chance, and because he called Krishna's name at the time of that, he called his son's name, Narayana, helplessly he called. Even though he called his son, but because it was Krishna's name and it was chanted when he was so helpless, so that gave him benefit of second chance. Next, another animal, Gajendra. Gajendra, of course, previously he was King Indrayumna, and he was, because of the learned experiences that he had previously, the impressions of life carried to the current life, he was able to submit prayers and called out to Krishna, and Lord Vishnu came with his Garuda and released Gajendra from the clutches of the crocodile's mouth. Okay, so that's animal. And do you believe even demons can perform bhakti? This is Vritrasura. Okay, Vritrasura has a wonderful story in Bhagavatam. It's a very long story. I don't think I can afford to explain now. Okay, and finally, oh yeah, I think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we covered various people who can perform bhakti, no matter species of life or age or intelligence level. So anyone can perform bhakti. Okay. Okay, it can also be practiced anytime. So please read the story in Canto 6. I think briefly what I can tell is somebody chanted a mantra wrongly and demon Vritrasura came about. And then there were battles between the Devas and Vritrasura. And finally, he had a glorious death. Okay, there's a lot of stone here. He was fighting with the Lord Indra actually. They were fighting for very long. All right. So during the fight, right, they were conversation. They're fighting, but they were having conversation. Vitasura has deep insight for a demon. Despite fighting for his life, he speaks on various principles of Bhakti Yoga. Quite uncommon for a demon to speak on Bhakti Yoga. The first is to recognize the fleeting nature of all opulence. Very knowledgeable, very realized demon. Fame, relative, longevity, and everything else in this world. Understanding the transient nature of such things serves as an impetus for one to search for higher meaning and eternal life. Only when you feel the adversities of the reversals of life, you will feel pushed to understand, why am I suffering? Who am I? Who is God? Otherwise, we will be baffled in this life, right? The soul is eternal, and thus it needs greater fulfillment than basic bodily pleasure. So all this, the demon were preaching to who? Lord Indra. Okay. So finally, Vrittasura went back to the abode of Sankarsana. Sankarsana is one of 4 main expansions of Krishna. So this is more technical explanation. And other than Vrittasura, we also have somebody who is called from lower birth. In India, Muslims are called lower birth, just like Muslims call us kafir, is it? Kafir means non-Muslim, right? Whether we are believers or not, we are called kafirs. So in India, they call Muslims as low-born. Okay, so Vrittasura's story illustrates how anyone is eligible to take up Bhakti Yoga. It doesn't matter whether one is born in a demonic family or a saintly one, anyone can practice Bhakti Yoga. One famous Bhakti yogi was Haridas Thakur, a close associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Though born in a Muslim family, he was promoted to the status of Namacharya, the spiritual teacher of the holy name. Practitioners of Bhakti Yoga commonly chant the holy names of God in the Maha Mantra or the great chant for deliverance. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra purifies the heart and removes distress from the chanter's life. So Haridas Thakur's story I have narrated in detail, right? Previously, a prostitute will be sent to him to distract him, but finally she will become devotee because she is purified by the Maha Mantra chanted by Haridas Thakur. So when it comes to the spiritual path, there is no high birth, low birth. All right, there is only soul, and everybody is servant of Krishna. And when you have love and devotion, then your life is perfect. Okay, for a loving and devotion for Krishna. Okay, let's move on to read 9.3. Sivaranjini Mataji.
Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So earlier, Krishna was saying there is ultimately no discrimination on who can take up devotional life. So it's free for all, everybody should take it. And Krishna talks about what happens to those who are not faithful. He says they cannot attain him. Okay, let's talk about faith. So what is faith? In this entire Krishna conscious journey, the whatever the activities that we are doing is ultimately to develop that faith. That is the journey about. Okay, so what is faith? The faith is simply believing that, or simply being it's a firm conviction that simply by serving Krishna in loving devotion service can give us all perfection. That is faith. We should have that kind of faith. It's not necessarily faith that Krishna will save me when I'm in distress, Krishna will give me wealth, Krishna will answer my questions, Krishna, all those 4 pious people seek Krishna. Okay, so above all this, the faith means the conviction that simply by serving Krishna will give us all perfection. So that is faith. So faith is a very important quality to perform devotional service. You cannot do something without having faith. right? So it will not make that activity meaningful. And how do you develop, how do you develop and strengthen the faith? By associating with devotees, by reading books in Krishna consciousness, and by practicing whatever we have learned and heard and remembered. That will increase our faith. Okay, so that is faith. Okay, so there are three levels of faith. Okay, so I will start from third level, second level, and the first class level. I go from the lowest. So the lowest faith is you don't have good faith, or you don't have knowledge of scriptures. And when you don't have this, when you come to Krishna out of some sentimentalism or some temporary benefits, all right, any issue, any challenges that come, it can cause us to easily fall down because we don't have faith. We cannot counter that reversals in life. So what is the point me doing all this and yet I'm in trouble? Those who are not praying to Krishna, they also going through trouble. So it doesn't make me and them different. Okay, I'm not simply saying it because I have heard these people telling, and I can only tell that okay, I wish that person has read more. All right. So, and it's not just about reading pastimes or hearing pastime. You have to hear philosophies as well, because this is where, even though it sounds very technical, but this is where it will come to help us when we are in trouble. Because you cannot solve one trouble and think that is over. You always have a lot of troubles after troubles. That is the nature of material life. So how? Okay, we have to keep reading, keep hearing, keep discussing. So that is the third level. Okay, they can be externally seen engaged in devotional service, but because they have come with some intentions, like maybe some self-satisfaction or some name, fame, and glory, or maybe some material benefits, we don't know. If they have this kind of self-interest and take up devotional service, then it's very hard for them to advance. Okay, they cannot achieve the highest perfectional stage. So this is people on the third level, lowest level of faith. Okay. All right. It's not bad, but they are in the progress, in this process. Okay. So they will progress only if they endeavor to get association from devotees. Okay. Second level. Second level, those are people with firm faith. Okay, but they are not advanced. They have very good faith in Krishna and Krishna's doings and blessings and everything, but they do not, they are not very advanced in devotional scriptures. They don't read. Okay, so what they do is they go based on their faith. They hear from, they take guidance from devotees and gurus. They have very simple life. Okay, so that is the second level of people. Three types of Krishna conscious men. Third level, second level. Okay, the first class level, which is the highest, is they have firm faith. All right, they engage in devotional service, and they are also well versed in devotional scriptures. Okay, you don't have to be a very great scholar or pandit or anything, but at least you read constantly. You acquire the knowledge. So when you have this knowledge, like I mentioned earlier, there won't be a chance for fall down. Okay, it is very true. From my experience, I'm sharing this. Usually what I share in the class, not very superficial. Okay, I share from my experience, what I hear, what I see. Okay, so because I want you all to relate in real life examples. This is real. This is what we go through in real life. And that is what's important. Okay. All right. So those who are not faithful, what is their ultimate destination? They will come back to the material world, taking birth and death again and again. Okay. Will you digest? Vijay Prabhu, you're here. Thank you.
Yeah.
You made it. Okay. We go on to text 11. Soma Sundram Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as a supreme Lord of all that be.
Thank you, Prabhu. This is a very important verse. Okay, it is covered in level 1 already. Okay, so basically, this verse is saying that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, may appear like an ordinary man, but he is not a common man. Because he appears in the form of an ordinary man, he does activities like an ordinary man, so people generally think that he's an ordinary. Okay, or he's just a great teacher, or he's a great sadhu, or whatnot. Okay, a lot of things people talk about Krishna. But the fact is that a person who can perform extraordinary activities like lifting the Govardhan here, can appear in four-handed form to the parents, and so many other things, cannot be a common man. He is performing such inconceivable acts of creations and activities. He cannot be a common man. Okay, not only that, Lord Brahma has said that Krishna is the supreme Ishvara. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna is Ishvara Parama, Parama Ishvara. So Krishna is the supreme controller. Ishvara means controller. We are small Ishwaras. Krishna is Param Ishvara. Okay, Ishvara Parama Krishna. That's one. And Gopala Tapani Upanishad as well as Brahma Samhita says that Krishna's body is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda means, Sat means eternal, Chit full of knowledge, Ananda full of happiness, always blissful. We are also Satchit Ananda, actually. We are also eternal. We are also full of knowledge. We are also full of bliss. But all the Satchidananda is inside the soul. It's covered by a gross body with lots of issues, and we are depressing the soul. So once we can shed this gross body and the subtle body, then the natural tendency of the soul will come out in the most pure form. Satchit Ananda. Okay, so that is Krishna's body. So how can he be a common man? He is not a common man. Okay, what else? And in chapter 7, text 40, who has Bhagavad Gita, please read for us. This shows why Krishna cannot be a common man. 7:14. Daivi Esha Gunamayi. Anyone with Bhagavad Gita? Yeah.
What text? Sorry, Mataji.
Chapter 7, text 14.
Text 14. I'll read.
Yes, Mataji.
This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Right, so here Krishna say, a soul surrendered unto Krishna can get out of material, these three modes of material nature. They can come out of this. So now, if Krishna is a common man, how can he help us to come out of this material energy? Okay, only a person who supervises the material energy, who controls the material energy, who does not have a material body like us, can help us. If he has a material body like us, he cannot help us. He also needs help. Okay, so Krishna didn't say that. Krishna promises a lot until chapter 8, Krishna has promised a lot of things a common man cannot. Okay, so some examples of Lord's appearance is this one. Yeah, Krishna appears as four-armed form in front of the father and mother, Vasudeva and Krishna. And then he appeared as two-handed form. Okay, and he also appeared in multiple hands and limbs in universal form to Arjuna. So if he can come in various forms, he is not a common man. He can come in two hands, he can come in four hands, he can come in universal form with so many arms in front of Arjuna. Okay, so which means Lord's appearance as human like a cowherd boy, right? Or Lord Vamana, the dwarf. Okay, he may appear normal. Okay, his appearance as human is just one of his many features of his transcendental body. He can become forearms, he can become tortoise, he can become varaha, he can be anything. So coming in a human form doesn't limit him. It's just he's one of many of his transcendental features. Okay, so this we have to understand from that angle, right? Sometimes, the kings, they disguise as a common man to see what's happening in the village, right? So that doesn't make him common, right? He's definitely uncommon compared to his subjects. Okay, he's just assuming certain role to the king is just assuming a guise of a normal villager to see what's happening. Okay, so that he can do some exchanges with his people. All right. So that doesn't limit him. That doesn't make him small. Okay, so who accepts Krishna's Yoga Aishwaryam? Yoga Aishwaryam means his opulences. Okay. The pure devotee who knows Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they will surrender to Krishna in devotional services. Okay, so they are not the fools. So this is the opposite of the fools. Earlier, I talked about the fools. They do not know my transcendental nature. So those who know his transcendental nature, this Yoga Aishwaryam, they engage in devotional service. That is the benefit of the knowledge that we get about Krishna. Okay, so the knowledge doesn't end there. We are not the inquisitive people. Oh, okay, this is the knowledge. Yeah, okay, thank you, bye. It's not that. We are the fourth one. We are starting from the fourth one. We are seeker of knowledge. We are seeker of knowledge. Yeah, we seek knowledge. We are just not merely inquisitive. Okay, what else? People can ask this question, if God is everywhere, then why are you worshipping in the temple? So how do you answer them? Come, let's tease your mind a bit. I can take 1 minute break. So what if somebody asks you, if God is everywhere, then why you need temple?
The
What would
place
you,
of God's residence.
Prabhu? Vijay Prabhu, what is
I
it?
can say that I can say that how I can see that's how a God appearance, that's how God will be. So that's why I'm going to worship that. It's like his resident. The place is actually his resident. So it's like
Resident.
going to his home and worshiping him. Even though he's everywhere, still we special place that everyone come there to worship him. It's like that's a place that everyone can go and worship him.
Okay, a special place to see him. Okay, understand? Good. Anybody else? Can we hear a few more?
It's a place where
Mm.
helps us to focus our concentration
Okay, it gives the
with
nice
all this
ambience and environment. Okay.
ambience, positive energy.
Yes. Okay, good. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Anyone else? Lakshmi Mataji, what is your opinion? What would you answer?
Similar to what the other two Prabhus have shared, it's a place, when you go to temple, we see it as a place that all the devotees gather for a mutual, how to say, for a mutual reason.
Yes, mutual reason.
So you
Yeah.
get to associate with the devotees, and it might lead to a certain advancement, as you said.
Correct. Nice. Thank you, Mataji. Sivaranjani Mataji, would you like to share anything?
I think because of there is different manifestations, and then and the different types of energy. When we are in the temple, we can get like different types of energy. Is it like that?
Yeah, I understand. Like Somasundram Prabhu said, right? You're getting the vibes.
Yeah.
Nice spiritual vibes. Yeah, understand. Okay, anybody else? Who else? Sarus Mataji?
People who go there with the intention of praying.
Mm.
So the atmosphere is conducive.
Mm.
It will be better.
Okay, Param Prabhu, what do you think? Why do we
Going to
have
temple, right?
Yeah.
It all depends on individuals. What
preference?
is the reason they're going to temple for?
Okay, that's good.
So it's
So,
not the same.
yeah, understand. It's not the same. So what do you think? If God is everywhere, then why you go to temple?
Of course, to receive good energy.
Yes. Yeah, I think mostly everybody wants that
Mm.
conducive
But
environment.
does everyone consciously goes for that?
What else?
Some go go to temple just to chit chat and all that I've observed.
Yeah.
And to eat prasadam, Mataji.
Yeah.
Okay, that is allowed here. You can come take prasadam and go because that is service. About other temple, of course, we can chit chat. We can chit chat about God and the services and related topics. That is okay. That is called satsang. But not gossips and village talks. We call that prajalpa and gramya kata. We don't want that because that place is built and then it's sustained by this very nice spiritual environment and vibe. So we don't want to destroy that. So we keep everything nice. Yeah, and then we meet for discussion on service. We discuss topics of God, how to serve Him better, maintain the temple. Yeah, we can do all that. What else? So there are people who ask,
Also on what you wear, right?
yes, yes,
That's
suitable
another thing
attire.
that people are not putting attention to.
Right. So this become a fashion.
In terms of receiving the energy itself.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So we don't want to distract anything from the deity, the presiding deity of the temple. So the attention and focus should be on the Lord. Okay, so generally all the answers are all right, but some people they ask question in a very challenging form. I mean, which atheists come to you and ask question in an inquisitive manner? They always ask questions from a challenging manner. So when they ask question like, if God is everywhere, then why are you going to temple? So all those answers that you've given is very nice, philosophically is correct. But sometimes when push come to shove and pull, what do you say? If God is everywhere, then why can't He be in the temple as well? We can ask like that. But we can always give this kind of the answer that you shared. We can give like that kind of. Okay. So why we are saying this? If God is everywhere, why He can't be in the temple? Because we know the philosophy that Krishna said He pervades everything, material and spiritual world. So it's up to Him where He wants to be. And we can feel Him in any manner. Okay, He's all pervading by His energies and all plenary expansions. Meaning what? He expands Himself into the entire creation through His energy, means His energy pervades everything. Okay, I mean, He pervades His entire creation through His energy as well as His plenary expansions, which means He can be everywhere in various forms. Like Mataji mentioned earlier, I think Sivaranjani Mataji, she said, He can be felt in different manifestations. So this can be plenary expansions as well. This is given in Brahma Samhita. Okay, all right. So I hope we benefit from that discussion. Okay, fools deride me when I descend in human form. Now, these fools are not, Krishna is not only talking about a common human being. Even great devas have been bewildered by Krishna's activities, like Lord Brahma. This is called Brahma Vimohana Leela. I will not touch this pastime. I hope all of you know what happened in this pastime. Okay. All right, let's move on. Text 13. Who have not read? Dasaradan Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. 9.13 translation. O son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so this verse is talking about what happens to those who in bewilderment, they disrespect Krishna's form. Okay, sorry, this is 13, right? So in between we had 12. So I'm trying to link text 11 and 12. What happens to those who in bewilderment, when they bewildered or they don't understand Krishna, when he comes as human form, they mistakes him to be common man. Okay, and so what happens to them? This is the destiny of such duratmas. So you can refer to text chapter 9. You can look at text 12 because it's not covered in your level 2. Nine 9.11. Yeah, you can read. Okay, so their destination is that they take shelter of the material energy and are attracted by demoniac and atheistic views. So this kind of people, they never surrender to Krishna and they will never taste the sweet taste of devotional services and they cannot go back to Godhead. And then subsequently what happens? Their destiny will be birth after birth, they will come to the material world and until and unless they cultivate this spiritual knowledge, they are going to have a demonic species of life, demonic style of life, demonic way of life. Forever, they will not have the understanding and the understanding of Krishna. Okay, forever they're going to be deluded under the they'll be under delusion. Okay, so if they do not come up, all right, if they don't come out, they continuously going to glide down and further to the darkest region of creation, which means the lower planetary systems. Okay, so that's 9.11 and 12. Those who do not believe Krishna when he comes in human form, they disrespect his human form. Okay, what happens? Those who respects Krishna as whatever form he reveals himself, that is 9.13. These are people who are not deluded. These are Mahatmas, the great souls are Mahatmas. They are always under the protection of the divine nature. Okay, how does that work? He does not deviate his attention to anywhere else other than Krishna. Because he knows Krishna as the supreme person and he's always attracted to his beautiful two-handed form. That is sufficient for him as an attachment. He won't even be attracted to the opulence form of Krishna. Okay, whenever Krishna appears in opulence form, he won't be interested in. He just wants the simplest form of Krishna, which is the two-handed, the flute, all right, the Krishna form. Okay, and this is the form that Lord Brahma glorified in Brahma Samhita. Okay, what else he does? He engaged in fully engaged in devotional service, like what? He's always chanting the glories of the Lord. Okay, he is always endeavoring with determination. Okay, and what else? He also always bow down before Krishna. Okay. All right, so for this, you don't need to have a severe penance or austerity activities. You simply have to bow down to Krishna. Very simple. Everybody can do, even a child can do that. So you start your child by making them to bow in front of the deities from small. From baby, you should do that. Okay? Because if you don't bow to Krishna, then we have to bow to the material world, the control of the material nature. Okay, we have to run, yeah. Okay, next we go to back to, okay, Vijay Prabhu. Prabhu, you are able to read? I think you're driving.
Yes, Mataji, I can.
Okay.
Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worshiping me indirectly, purified of sinful reaction, they take birth on the fierce heavenly planet of Indra, where they can enjoy godly delight.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So this what happens to those who they don't have focus on Krishna. So what they do, they worship the devas for material benefits. And those who are engaged in pious activities, what do they do at the time of death? They will go to the heavenly planets. So there they will have unlimited enjoyments. And then they drink. They also drink that. What do you call that? Soma juice. Okay, and those people who worship the devas, they go to heavenly planets and drink so much. They are, Krishna said, they are also worshipping him, but they are not worshipping him directly in Krishna's form, because Krishna supplies everything through the devas, right? So even the human worship the devas, they are indirectly worshipping Krishna. It's just that not directly. So what will happen to them? They will have unlimited enjoyment in heavenly planets. All right, and then they drink the soma juice. That is what you mean by study the Vedas. They do all this Vedic activity, the activities prescribed by the Vedas, meaning they are worshipping the devas, okay? But they ask material benefits. So, not available, and I don't know how soma juice tastes like also. It's just some kind of wine in heaven. So all the devas drink that. Okay, usually they will they joke like, I want to go to heavenly planet and drink soma juice. So that is like ultimate enjoyment there. It's better than all the, no problem, Prabhu. It's better than probably all the intoxicants in this material world, I think. Okay, so what happens to those people who go there? They are purified by the sinful reaction. Heaven quality alcohol. Yeah, yes. I don't know whether it's alcohol or not, but I think it's definitely intoxicating. Okay, so purified, their sinful reactions are purified. They will take birth on the pious or heavenly planets where they enjoy godly delights. But what happens after that? There's always an end for that. Saras Mataji.
Sorry.
Yes.
When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activity are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. Mataji, I would ask something.
Yes.
Isn't this so much just equivalent to intoxicant? So, for principles, one of it is abstain from this type of toxicants, isn't it?
Yes.
So how is it allowed in the heavenly planets?
I don't know. That is why the devotees don't aim to go to heavenly planets. Because there the enjoyment is too immense that you might not remember Krishna, and there is no chance to perform devotional services there. So we will skip all these material planets, heavenly planets. We want to go back to Goloka because there you don't have all these intoxicants. So basically, a heavenly planet is for enjoyment, Mataji.
So it's also part of the materialistic world, also Indraloka,
Yes.
right, ma?
Correct. It is still here. You see here, this poster here.
While
Swarga Loga.
which means while doing good things at the same time, maintain some bad habits, which also be acceptable because we are worshipping demigods. So while we still, which means we are, even though we're doing, but we still have some good qualities, which is a worshipping the demigods. That's the reason why we can go to their planets, but not gonna be forever. Which means though, then hence, which means we also will maintain in the materialistic world. We're not gonna be another world, which is a spiritual planet.
Yeah, you will going up and down, but you're still in that ball. You're still in that egg, the manda, the what do you call this? Anda,
Not
right?
gonna pass Milky Way.
Yeah, the Viraja River. You're not passing that. You're still inside here. Okay, but you'll get some enjoyment. It's still high planets. It's still high planet. If you look at this chart here, you can see we are in Earth planet. Okay, with your pious credits, you will go to the one of the 33 million demigods. And okay, there are 33 million demigods and demons. Demons are not lower species, yeah. Okay, they are also powerful. They also have magics, and they also have some kind of enjoyments, opulence in their planets. So you can go to any of these planets. Each Deva will have one planet, so we can go anywhere. So the king of the planet is Lord Indra. Okay, so whatever it is, even if you go up to Brahma Loka, you live for 133 trillion years. At the end of a pralaya, we are still entering Vishnu's body, and we are still dying. Okay, and when all this pralaya happens, all the benefits that the devas have given their devotees, all will be destroyed as well. So this is just a comparison where Krishna is giving that with your pious credit, you can advance to higher planets. You will have all the enjoyment, but after that, you still have to come back. Your vacation is over, so please come back home and report to duty, like that. Okay, so let's move on. If you find this interesting, please read Bhagavad Gita, the purport, right? The goal of this Gita Gyan is not to give everything during the class. It's just to show you what is the essence of these verses and chapters, segments, and you have to go back and read on your own. We are just making it easier for you to understand what is where. Okay. Okay, we only have very little time. I'm definitely going beyond 9 o'clock. Okay, text 22. Lakshmi Mataji.
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So this is comparison with people who are not deluded, who focused in Krishna, who worships Krishna with exclusive devotion without any interior motives. So for them, Krishna gives two things. He fulfills their requirements, whatever they need, and he gives them protection. So there's a story I already mentioned to you, right, where the Brahmana will scratch this word, and then he will have, the wife will see two kids with the scratches on the back. Okay, right? So on this note also, I shared that we are not allowed to scribble our Bhagavad Gita. If at all you want to make notes, you can do all those on your PDF online. Okay, all right, so I'm going to skip this. I think that's pretty straightforward. By preserving what they have also means that other than protection, it also means that Krishna protects the devotee from falling down to miserable conditional life. Sometimes you can have a very nice pakka devotional life, and some distractions come along. You get diverted, distracted, off track a little bit. But because Krishna never forgets the services that you have done for him, Krishna will find a way to bring you back. This also I have seen, it is really true. But we don't want to take a chance by risking that, because we don't know how long we're going to live. Okay, so Krishna will never forget. He'll always try to bring us back, bring people back to the right track. Okay. Yoga Shemam means requirements and protection. Text 25. Param Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirit will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So this is pretty clear also. So tell me, in where I have not seen any other place directly giving us this destination for different kind of people. So this is why this information is in the most confidential knowledge section of our Gita. Okay, so we really want to take this for our information and benefit and choose where we want to go. All right, so this verse, it refutes the philosophy that no matter what you worship, ultimately we will go to one destination. I've had somebody telling me that sometime back, I mean, not too long, after I came here, and she said, ultimately everything will go and becomes a Jyoti. Okay. If everybody does so many things and ultimately becomes a Jyoti, and how do you discriminate which is right or which is wrong? Right? So it's not fair, right? Some people do more austerity, some people do more bhakti, some people become vegetarian, some people have not gone, have not taken intoxication. So how can everybody get the same destination, right? So this part of Bhagavad Gita, clearly Krishna is telling, if you do this, you go here. If you do this, you go here. Very clear. And Krishna say, if you worship me, you will live with me. Very fair. Okay, the Deva worshippers will go to the Devas, the Ishta Devas. The ancestors worshippers, they will go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirit will go to them. Those who worship Krishna will go to Krishna. It's very straightforward. Okay. What else? And this destination, it depends on the faith that we cultivate. How much faith that we have. Okay. So, and our process is very easy in Vaishnava, in Krishna conscious path is very easy. You just have to chant and perform your devotional service. You are going back to, at the same time, you are still doing your other duties. Okay. Right. So next, Krishna is going to talk about the glories of Krishna Bhakti, why the Bhakti is superior to everything else, why Krishna takes direct interest, or how Krishna takes direct interest in the life of a devotee who is in the Bhakti path. Okay, so Bhakti path is generally very easy. Anyone can perform, like what we saw earlier. Old, young, woman, man, children, animal, not educated, rich, poor, whatever nationality. You not necessarily have to be an Indian or Hindu to cultivate Krishna consciousness. You don't have to. You can see from the real life example we have presence of ISKCON all around the world. Even my guru is not an Indian body person, but he knows more things than an Indian body person would know. Okay? All right. So now, so with all this information that Krishna has given us, if you do this, you go here. If you do this, go there. This is to help us to make the correct choice. So to help us further, he is speaking the 9 verses of this chapter so that we can make a conscious choice how our rest of the life is going to be or should be. Okay, that is why this chapter 9 is important. Please read text 26. Shivaranjani Mataji.
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
Okay,
Thank you,
very simple, like you, Mataji, very simple sloka, a very deep sloka, and very, very important sloka. This is the sign of an intelligent person. Okay, he engages in Krishna's devotional service to achieve permanent bliss in the abode of eternal happiness. So how? The only qualification required is bhakti. That is why Krishna mentioned this word bhaktya, bhakti 2 times. Okay, he is stressing this bhakti. Okay, no other qualification required. He never said exotic leaf, a beautiful flower, or an exotic fruit, or some heavenly water. He didn't say all that. And he never say a bunch of flowers, tons of flowers, or tons of leaves, tons of fruit, a big reservoir of water. He never say anything. The quantity he left to us. Okay, but he only requests we do this with love and devotion, not out of duty, not out of routine, not out of some obligations. Okay, just pure love and devotion. So compared to other process, this is much, much simple, and it gives the highest perfectional stage. So it's like we always, when we want to go for investment, we want to see which gives the smallest, which requires the smallest capital and the highest return. We always want like that, right? Yeah. So I think we can find that here. This is the best investment anyone can go for. Okay. All right. So because we can also relate this to our previous lessons whereby Krishna say he is the ultimate enjoyer, he's the benefactor, he's the beneficiary, and he is the ultimate enjoyer. And all the sacrifices must be done in offering to him. So all that philosophically he is giving us. Now, practically, he's telling us how to actually use that in daily life. So this is how we do it. And boil down to very simple things: leaf, water, fruit, flower. Okay, indirectly, it is also being prohibited here that we are not offering Krishna any sacrificed meat or animal eggs. Okay, so all these are prohibited. We are not offering him all this. Why we offer? Because if we do not offer, then we are taking the sinful reactions in the food involved in cultivating the crops, in the distribution. Okay, all this process involves some amount of karmic reactions, and if we do not offer it to Krishna with love, then we are taking the reactions. Okay, so that's why we offer. And the attitude when we offer is another point that to take note, that we have to prepare, serve, offer with love, not by grudging mood or very disturbed mood. It's not like that. Okay, so bhakti is a very simple process. Love is the only qualification to serve Krishna. So this story also somebody has narrated previously. I still clearly remember, but I don't know whether it was level 1. I think it must be level 1. Shamala Mataji narrated this. Okay, text 27. How many more to go? Few more to go. Text 27, Somasundram Prabhu.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so how do we link text 26 and 27? Before that, text 14, 22, and 14 we didn't cover, but we asked somebody to read earlier. Oh no, 14 was always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Yeah, I think we covered this. Bowing down. No, actually we didn't cover that. Okay, right. So text 14, 22, and 26 describing the advanced stage of devotion. 14 we didn't cover, yeah. So please read, please write it down, and then you please read. So those who are not at that level yet, what do? They do this, text 27. This is how they do this. For those who are not yet able to practice pure devotional service, they do this. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, you do that as an offering to me. What yoga is this? That is the question now. What yoga is this? Whatever you do as an offering to me. You surrender the results unto me. What yoga is that?
Bhakti?
Okay, yeah, it is bhakti. But this is before the advanced stage of bhakti. So what is that? Before we go to the advanced stage of bhakti, that is one karma yoga that we perform. Sometimes we find ourselves mostly in that level because we don't have pure devotional service yet. Come, we have so many karma yogas. Which karma yoga is this? I already given one clue. Dasaradan Prabhu, Lakshmi Mataji,
Karmic.
Okay. The last two words are karma yoga. What I'm looking for is the first karma yoga. What is the term? What kind of karma yoga is this? Okay, Prabhu has given one answer. Is that correct? Anybody would like to second that answer?
Dhyana.
No. Dhyana is different already. This is still karma yoga. Who else support Dasaradan Prabhu's answer? Okay, the answer is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Remember, that is Sakama Karma Yoga and that is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Sakama Karma Yoga is you perform karmic activities to get benefits for yourself. Nishkama, no benefit, no result. Result is surrender. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga. So those who cannot go and do pure devotional service, they will start by doing Nishkama Karma Yoga, which is this. Whatever you do, whatever work you do, whatever you perform, you do it as an offering to me. That is called Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay? All right. So this gives you liberation from the bondage of your work and result. Okay. So it won't give you the auspicious effect or inauspicious effect. It will not give us all that. Okay, let's move on. This here, Krishna is giving very, very detailed steps how to perform bhakti. This is the last verse for today. And it is very, very important because this chapter, like I mentioned many, many times, is the most confidential knowledge, and the most beautiful part, the most confidential part of the bhakti is slotted inside here. And how to do that? Dasaradan Prabhu, please read for us.
Yes, Mataji. 9.34 translation. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisance to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this is about how to engage our mind, body, and soul. We engage by thinking of Krishna in his eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, by having the conviction that Krishna is the supreme. Okay. And how do you engage your mind, body, soul? Is through the 9 activities, the 9 devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, all that. Remember? Okay. Finally, we always want to see what is the benefit for us. The benefit is that we will be transferred to Krishna Loka. Okay, so you can also, like I mentioned earlier, Kamsa also thought about Krishna. Sisupala also thought about Krishna. So are they same level with us? It's definitely not. All right, because they think about Krishna in the form of enviousness, but we think about Krishna in the form of love and devotion. Okay, and their thoughts are not favorable. Okay, so that's definitely a difference. Okay, however, the benefit is there somewhat, okay, because they think of Krishna. Even we were told, even if people playfully tease Hare Krishna like that, it still gonna give them benefit. Okay, so it's still beneficial. It's just the only difference is how far they advance by having that kind of thoughts. All right, so the correct understanding is that you must think Krishna as a person, like supreme person, not a common person. We must understand that Krishna's body is not same like us. Only our soul is Satchit Ananda, covered by this gross body, but Krishna's body itself is Satchit Ananda. Okay, so how to think of Krishna in is favorable thoughts in devotional love. Okay, and then cultivation of knowledge about Krishna should be continuous. Okay, we are doing our best on a best effort basis. We are providing on weekly basis, but it is our responsibility to nourish our soul on daily basis. Just take one sloka, one purport a day. Before you start your work, make it a routine. Just read before you start your work. Just like it's like your breakfast, your daily newspaper. You read that. Okay, what else? How else you can cultivate this knowledge? Look for hearings from bona fide spiritual masters or great acharyas. And then you have to know what is the teaching that the gurus are giving. It has to be in line with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. These 3 check and balance. Even our legislative system has these 3 things, right? I'm not able to quote this, my pengajian, I'm like rusted already. But you know, right? There are 3 things that you have to have that to check and balance. So like this, in this path also, we have to check and balance among these things. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. They all must conform the same information. If they are not confirming with each other, that means it is not bona fide. All right. So the bona fide information a guru should give is that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead, that his body is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge, and we are his eternal servants. Anything that goes off track of this information, then it is not a bona fide knowledge. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So how easy is chanting this Maha Mantra? Like earlier, I said there's something wrong Okay, you see here, after Vishwarupa, the heavenly priest, was killed by Indra, his father, Twasta, I think Vishwarupa's father, Twasta, performed the sacrifice to kill King Indra. That is why he summoned upon this Asura. Actually, he wanted to call something else, but because he chanted the mantra wrong, he sacrificed produced Krutrasura, of whom Indra was the enemy. So we don't have all these complications with Maha Mantra, so we just please chant Maha Mantra. It's as simple as that. It's very easy and very safe. Okay, it doesn't ask you to, it doesn't make us to ask Krishna to solve our distress or problem, increase our wealth or whatsoever. It's simply asking us to be engaged in Krishna's devotional service, and all perfection will come when our life is fixed around these devotional services. Okay, that's why I always say it's a safest prayer. And have you seen people say, oh, I don't have time for now. Let me retire first. Let me finish my work first. After that, oh, let me get my children get married first. After that, there'll be grandchildren. Oh, let my grandchildren go to school first because I have to send them to school and come back. So when is the time for us to surrender to Krishna? When is the time we want to save our soul before it's too late? It's either we are too young, we are too much in love, we are too busy, or we are too old and too late. Okay, recently I've been spending my time with my parents, my dad especially. My mom is into hearing all these spiritual talks. So she was complaining to me that my dad is not letting her to listen to all this. So I was telling him, remember 20 years ago when I asked you to come to temple, you said, oh no, I'm working now, I retire first. And then I want you all to settle down. Then only I will come and do all this. But 20 years fast track, he got a heart attack. He's so frail now. He had a stroke. He hardly can move around. We went for some invitation card marathon last week. The third house, he cannot come down from the car already. So I was telling him, remember you say when you're old and done and settled, you will come to temple. But now you see, it's so difficult for you to even walk. You will need people to assist you. Right? So this is a classic example where we cannot take for granted. You wouldn't want to offer an old wilted flower to Krishna. You want to offer the flower which is so fresh and beautiful. So similarly, we also want to offer ourselves to Krishna when we are able-bodied. We are still able-bodied. We can still run, we can still drive, we can still stand. Okay, after 40, you have this pain, that pain already. Can you imagine when you're 60 or 70, what are we going to do? And then we'll have Alzheimer's and dementias. We cannot read, we cannot remember, we can't talk. All right, so the urgency is now. This is what I want to sincerely say. The urgency is now. You're too young, never mind. Do something. Too much in love, never mind. Do something together. Too busy, never mind. Read Bhagavad Gita verse in the beginning. Once in a week, attend class. Once in a week, come to temple or festivals. Now Damodara month is going to come. Damodara month is going to come, and you can do all these activities here. Okay, it's from October 29 to November 27. This is where we offer ghee lamp to Krishna in the form of Damodara, Yashoda Damodara. There is a wonderful pastime for this. I don't have time to go through this pastime now. And it is starting this Sunday already. In between, I try to send you some information in the group. So basically what I request you all to do is do this activity at home. You can take a satay stick like this, roll the cotton at the tip here, dip it in melted ghee, the ghee that you use for cooking, and you keep. Every day you offer to Krishna's picture, any Krishna picture you have. If you have Mother Yashoda and Krishna, that will be the best. That depicts the exact pastime that happened in the month of Damodara. Okay, it also corresponds to the Deepavali day. So the Deepavali, the day that falls in that month, the entire month is celebrated as Damodara month. So you offer a lamp a day at the minimum, or you can also do it morning and in the evening. So I'm leaving all this information here. You please read on the PDF. Or what I prefer is, I'm more environmental friendly, so I buy brass lamps like this, metal lamps. You offer, wash. After the light goes off, you wash for before the next use. If you find it's not convenient, then what you can do the stick, or you can use the normal clay lamp. But it's just that I'm very concerned about the waste that we come up with after we offer. So I would really recommend you all to go for a brass lamp. Okay, and recently I shared a video where the Mataji demonstrated how to roll ghee sticks. And the last few Sundays, we have devotees gathering at the temple doing these ghee sticks because they are doing for school programs. We do thousands of sticks for them. Okay, so on Sunday, we have the launching festival, and this is the itinerary. There's not Sunday feast in the morning, it's evening, they brought it into evening. Okay, so this is Damodara month information. So let me go back here. There's a comic here at the back, so please read. Okay. How to engage? This is what we read just now. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance to me, and worship me. So what we learned in chapter 9, we learned about the pure, unalloyed devotion. Okay, Krishna creates, maintains, and destroys this world by his majestic powers. Fools and jnanis approach Krishna in different ways. Remember, you can go to higher planets, but you still eventually come down. Therefore, direct bhakti to Krishna is the best. We don't want indirect. Okay, and Krishna is specifically inclined to a devotee, forgives him for accidental mistakes. So, he carries what we lack and he protects what we have. Okay, so that's about it. 9:50, I'm so sorry. Okay, any questions? And any help or guide you need to start your Damodara festival at home, please let me know. If you're nearby Klang Valley, I can come and give you the Yashoda Damodara photo. It's like a calendar. It's a foldable calendar you can put on your altar and you can show the ghee lamp. So you show 7 times to Krishna.
Mataji,
Yes.
what I'm what's the specialty of Damodara?
Okay, Damodara month happened. Damodara month celebrates a pastime that Krishna did on the Deepavali Day, which we celebrate as Deepavali Day. On Deepavali Day, there's a lot of things happen. Damodara happened. Ramayana, Lord Rama returning Ayodhya, that happened. Krishna vanquished Narakasura also happened. So many things happen on the day. So one of it is the Damodara festival, whereby what happened is Mother Yashoda was churning butter, all right, and Krishna woke up, and Mother Yashoda had a pot full of milk on the stove in the kitchen. So when Krishna came, he was hungry, so Mother Yashoda was feeding him. But what happened when she heard that milk was like going to overflow in the stove, she quickly put Krishna down and she rushed to the kitchen. And Krishna was so angry. And what he did, he took a rock nearby, he broke the pot that Mother Yashoda was churning butter, and he ran off. He ran to the nearby store where Mother Yashoda hung all the butter on the ceiling, on the pillars and everything. And he ate that, not only he ate that, he broke and he ate that, he also gave the butter to the monkeys. So when Mother Yashoda came back and she saw the mess, she was so angry and she took the cane and started chasing him. Lord Krishna ran around the house, and finally when he saw the mother was struggling to run after him, he stopped and he led Mother Yashoda to capture him. So Mother Yashoda thought, okay, I have a lot of work to do. If I leave you like this, you're so mischievous, you're going to go and end up in trouble, you're going to hurt yourself, I'm going to tie you. So what she will do is, she will take the grinding mortar that it looks like that. That's where they use the churning, it's a tool to churn. She'll take a rope and try to bind Krishna to the grinding mortar because she doesn't want Krishna to go anywhere. But what happens is that because of Krishna's mystical power, Krishna didn't want Mother Yashoda to tie him. So he always make the rope 2 inches short. So what Mother Yashoda will say, she will ask the maids all to bring more ropes to tie. So somehow or other, the rope will always be short by 2 inches. And when Krishna saw that Mother Yashoda was so determined to tie him, and because she wants to protect him from the harm, he allowed Mother Yashoda to tie. So that 2 inches is actually represent our determination, okay, to achieve Krishna, and also Krishna's mercy. So these two has to come together for us to capture Krishna. So Krishna allows him to be captured. So to celebrate this pastime, what we do is we offer something from our heart to Krishna. So which is, because Krishna loves ghee. So when we offer the lamb to Krishna, we can see how the ghee melts. And this is how our heart also should melt when we love in love for Krishna. So we offer that ghee lamb. That is a very simple thing that we can offer him in this 1 month. So you can do it morning and night.
Which means the Damodar, the Krishna's when he was small time was incident, and Ramayana also everything happened in this month.
On
All
that,
the special,
yes, that Tidi is a Deepavali Tidi. It's like that.
everything in the 1 month is.
Even on that day, the Deepavali day.
Mm.
So whenever the Deepavali falls in that month, so that the entire month is celebrated as Damodara month. Sometimes it is also called Kartik month, but this is not the Tamil Kartik month. That is different. So this is Vaishnava Kartik month or Damodara. Damo Udara. Damo means Krishna's belly. Udara means rope. So the belly that is been bound by rope. So it's Damodara.
Thank you, Mataji.
And this is also special because in Skanda Purana, there is long list of benefits given when we do ghee lamb offering for Damodara month. And I will share that. How one time you offer, it destroys many million lives of sinful reactions. And when you offer, it also destroys the sinful reactions of your ancestors and also gives them liberation. So a lot of information that benefits. So it's really a promotion month for us, I would say. And a lot of people will take up Krishna consciousness easily in this month because it's a cheap sale. Prabhu, where do you stay? Where do you stay?
Kampung Pandan.
Okay. Have you been to Bukit Jalil Bazaar during Deepavali in the past many years?
No, I never even one time.
Okay. To everyone here, we do have a booth, Damodara booth in Bukit Jalil Bazaar for the entire 1 week bazaar season. And you can actually go in, you offer ghee lamb to big Damodara picture there. You will be given some halwa, and we also have some bookstores, books, and jippas, kurtas, and some paraphernalias there. So when you shop, just do 1 ghee lamb offering, and then you can take prasadam.
Thank you, Mataji.
Nice, Lakshmi Mataji. Okay. So last year, what we did was I gathered some of my Gita Gyan students and we took 1 slot. We took, I think, 4-hour slot, I think we took. So we were there. So if they open it for us, then I will probably invite you all, and whoever free, we can go. So hopefully that'll be nice. Okay, so thank you so much. It's already 9:30. I'm so sorry. But the thing, I really wanted to talk about the Damodara month to you all, and we won't be seeing for a few weeks until Diwali is over.
Okay, Mataji.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Happy preparation and happy shopping. Stay safe.
Same to you, Mataji.